Where will Deebo play in 2025? Will it be the 49ers? Let's get to it right after this. What's going on, everybody? It's your host with the most, the WayneBreezie. Check this out, man. Where will Deebo Samuel play in 2025? Before we get into that, make sure you like this joint. All right, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you're brand new, you've never seen me before, click on that subscribe button. All right, feel free to share it too with your friends, family, cousins, uncle, brothers, sisters, roommates. You know how we do. Also, if you want to support the stream right now, click on that join button and become a member of the Breezie Bunch crew. We got some really cool perks that we offer members only, and make sure you go ahead and take advantage of that, especially on the live shows, man. You'll get the member shout outs and all that good stuff. So go ahead and take advantage of the Breezie Bunch crew by joining today. All right, get that membership right now. You can also support your boy Breezie over at residency.com. You want to rock some of the hats your favorite players are wearing. Yeah, Deebo Samuel, he's got his own brand over there, man. Make sure you go to www.residency.com. Use that promo code SFBreezie and you can save on your total purchase. You feel me? Total purchase. So make sure you go ahead and take advantage of that right now. They got a cool sale going on. So go ahead and take advantage of that. Valentine's Day sale's coming, man. Show some love. All right, let's talk about it, man. Where will Deebo play in 2025? We already know that Deebo Samuel has requested to be traded from the San Francisco 49ers. And we know that the 49ers could put themselves in some type of a pickle because Deebo Samuel is set to be owed some money, so the 49ers got to figure out what they're going to do before March 22nd, which is way before the draft. They got to make some types of decisions. Now, listen, I know a lot of people don't like everybody out there, but I love everybody. I support everybody. My man David Lombardi put this out. He says, if the 49ers want to avoid Deebo's $15.4 million option, they have to jettison the contract before March 22nd. Now, I'm not a dumb person, and I know a lot, but I had to look up the word jettison. I'm sorry, I didn't know what it meant. And it means to drop, get rid of, whatever. I'm like, oh, why didn't David just say get rid of? Maybe it took up too many characters in his tweet or whatever. You could have just said drop the contract, but maybe that sounds too, vulgar. I don't know. But jettison is a cool word. What's cool? It's always cool to learn something new. You know what I mean? Jettison it is. So the 49ers, if they want to avoid Deebo and this $15.4 million option, that's a lot of money too, right? That's a lot of money. All right. They have to do it before March 22nd. Now, he went on to say doing so via trade or cut. So there's two things you can do to Deebo Samuel post June 1st, after June 1st, right? You can trade, you can cut. Now, depending on what it is, the Niners got to take on some dead cap that they're going to probably owe down the line, right? They're not going to owe it all right now, but when you add up all the money over the voided years of the contract, and we'll look at the contract, when you add up all the money that they owe because he restructured, it'll end up being something like $31.5 million. My apologies. There's the number right there, right? So that's the prorated, which is going to hit this season. So would mean the accelerating $31.5 million is prorated cap hits to hit this season. All right. Post June 1st cut doesn't reduce the dead money. So after June 1st, it doesn't reduce the dead cap money. It simply staves some off to 2026. So some of it goes into 2025 and some of it goes into 2026. And the cap space is connected from year to year, which means cap space can roll over. So it's a money tweet right here, right? So because we're trying to figure out all right, why will the 49ers do this? Now, the 49ers are a great business. I can tell you right now, and they do their players right. They do their players right. Now, I'm not going to be the one that's to say that what caused Deebo to want to request the trade, but I'm pretty sure that the 49ers went to Deebo and asked him to take some type of a pay cut, and he was like, man, nah, and requested the trade, got his agent, Tory Dandy, got the trade request going, to kick the wheels turning, to help the Niners out and himself, right? So that way he's in camp when he needs to be in camp, and the Niners can probably get something if they are willing to look to get some type of draft capital for Deebo Samuel. The Niners can get that pre-draft, right? Because that's what you want to do, right? If you trade Deebo, you don't want to trade Deebo for another player. You don't want to trade Deebo for another wide receiver here, say. You want some draft capital so you can kind of like re-up. You reset your money in the market and your cap space at that position. The Niners are currently paying Brandon Ayuk the big bucks, right? And then they got the other wide receivers, which aren't making a lot of money. So that's not like, Jawan Jennings is going into a contract year. He's not making a lot of money on the last year of his deal. And so like that's what it's going to come down to. That's what it's going to come down to. Looking at the top cap space hits, like Deebo Samuel, $15.8 million would be the top cap space. He's number 5 on the list as far as cap space he's taken up. You know what I'm saying? We talked about how he can earn that money. And like we said, if the Niners do what they do, and they'll end up hitting that 5 million dead cap space, the Niners will be on the books for that. So there's some things that the Niners need to do. There's some things that this is all about what the Niners need to do. And like I said, they're a top class organization. When they love a player, they will look out for a player, set that player up so that they can go elsewhere, find work, and get it in. And maybe that's what the Niners, that's why they granted or allowed the trade. Again, Deebo Samuel is on the last year of his contract, and we can kind of look at that as well. Here's the rest of Deebo Samuel's contract per David Lombardi as well. $15.4 million option, which is due on March 22nd. That's why they got to do this before March 22nd, because on March 22nd, Deebo is going to get that prorated amount, that $15.4 million option that we talked about. So that's what, $3.86 million over the next 5 years. That's the prorated amount. So he's going to get that particular amount of money over the next 5 years. So San Francisco 49ers would save on that option if they trade, right? They don't have to worry about paying that $15.4 million over the next 5 years, which is those voided years on Deebo Samuel's contract, because like I said, his contract expires in 2026, right? So 2026, the league new year, he will be a free agent. Rest of the signing and option prorations total to $31.5 million. 49ers have already paid them out and will owe that versus cap regardless. So we talk about the dead cap money. The Niners already gave Deebo his money, and so they're going to owe that money. It's weird. It's crazy. Don't ask me, ask the cap gurus out there. And here's a look at what Deebo's contract looks like, and see, you can see the voided years here. You can see the voided years. Let's focus on 2025. That's the season we're going into, where he's set to make base 1.17 mil. Right. And then here's the prorated bonus. This is per over the cap because it's broken down perfectly. Right. This is per the prorated bonus. Right. So the signing 8.9, the option 4.2, almost 5. Right. You add 9 and 5 together, and then you got to add the roster bonus, the workout bonus. That's where that cap number comes into. You get the 15.8, 6.9 number. Right. Now, if you cut them pre-June 1st, the Niners on the books for $31 million. Post June 1st, it is what it is, the 15.68, right? So it's tough for the Niners. It doesn't make sense financially for the Niners to want to move on from Deebo Samuel. So where will he play in 2025? I mean, this doesn't make sense. Why would the Niners do this other than grant him grace to go find a team? Now, I think what the Niners are doing is say, hey, you find a team. Like, we're not shopping you. But if you find a team that's willing to give us what we want, you know what I'm saying? So you can get out of this contract, we'll go ahead and make it happen, Captain. And that's what the Niners are doing. That's what the Niners are doing, right? That's exactly what the Niners are doing. So that's just a quick look at his contract. Let's talk about where he will play in 2025. Here's the odds. The odds right now is he's going to play in San Francisco. He's going to stay in San Francisco, okay? And I do want to shout out where I got these statistics from. Because they sent it to my email and I wanted to show them some love. on the podcast. So let me go ahead and get that real quickly. Okay, let me go ahead and get that out real quickly. So just bear with me. I had it in my thing because this is where I got it from. But I woke up early this morning. So shout out to Jared Kimball. All right, they sent me this information. Jared Kimball, PR Communications. All right, Jared Kimball from the GDCgroup.com, betcalifornia.com. So here's the odds right now. It's San Francisco at plus 225, 30%, almost 31% chance. Pittsburgh Steelers, we'll talk about that, plus 900. Denver Broncos, plus 900. Commanders, Patriots, Panthers, plus 1,100, so slimmer chances. Bills, Chargers, 12 plus 1250. And then the field, plus 900. So right now, it seems like the odds is for him to stay in San Francisco. And I'm going to be honest, there's a possibility that Deebo Samuel is actually doing this to negotiate new terms, new deals, and a contract. With who? The 49ers. Because at the end of the day, him and Kyle Shanahan are really close. And at the end of the day, I can see Kyle Shanahan saying, what does Deebo want? And let's go ahead and see if we can just make this happen. So there's a possibility. Now, I know his play has declined. We're not going to sit here and act like Deebo Samuel was an all-pro wide receiver in 2025. We're not going to do that. That's not what I'm going to do. Do I love Deebo Samuel? 1,000%. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that he's been that guy. All right. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that he's been that guy. That's not what I'm going to do. That's not who I am. Am I a fan of Deebo? For sure. But I love the 49ers, and the Niners definitely have to figure out 100,000 ways how they can get better. Right. And it might just be at that wide receiving position. So looking at the stats, we're going to break down his stats just very quickly. All right. Do a quick stat breakdown type thing just so we can see how Deebo Samuel kind of like fared out. And we know we use Deebo in several different ways. Right. Deebo Samuel was used in several different ways. But you could just look at his numbers and you can see the decline. I mean, he had the anomaly year in 2021. Then it was 632 in 2022. He played in 13 games. He played in 2 more games the next year, got 892. And we're just focused on wide receiving. All right, 892. All right. And then in 2024, 15 games, dealt with a lot of injuries off the field. The pneumonia kicked in. Not going to use anything as an excuse. 51 receptions, 670 yards. A lot of drops that year. Only 3 TDs. And that's huge on the production. I do believe that the offense was ran a little bit differently, but it is what it is. 3 TDs. Never had double-digit TDs in a season. It's 3 rookie year, 1 the next year. Played in that year. He was pretty much injured. 2020, that was the COVID year. 2021, 6 TDs receiving. All right, but the rushing is where he really superseded. You can see if you go to 2024, only 1 rushing TD. He averaged on the ground only 3.2 yards per average. So he just wasn't the same dynamic Deebo Samuel that we're used to seeing. Like I said, his numbers did decline. It could have just been one of those years. Will the Niners give him an opportunity to prove that he's still that guy? Possibly. I mean, like I said, I think Deebo is doing what he needs to do to up his value, to take control of the narrative, and things like that. That's what some players have to do. They have to find a way to get ahead of the game because they know that it's a game, right? They know that it's a game. So there's a possibility that Deebo Samuel, according to those odds, there's a possibility that Deebo Samuel will remain a San Francisco 49er in 2025. Now, Deebo has spoken, and Deebo has spoken on his podcast, Per Bleacher Report, and let's just hear what he had to say about where he would play.
The ball right now, your defense is outrageous. You got P2 out there who's, I would say, the best at the position right now. Probably been for the past 2 years. You got the other guy on the other side. I just think you need a couple more pieces in it.
Let's rewind that back.
Who's a team, in your opinion, that people should kind of be like, ooh, they might be something special?
I could say Denver. Bo Nix is playing really, really good ball right now. Your defense is outrageous. You got P2 out there who's, I would say, the best at the position right now. Probably been for the past 2 years. You got the other guy on the other side. I just think you need a couple more pieces and then it'll be what it need to be, and you just have to get past Pat Mahomes every year.
If Deebo went to a team with Sean Payton, Payton may just be able to unlock Deebo Samuel once again. right? Use him for the weapon that he is, not the receiver that he is, but the weapon that he is. There's a possibility that you can get that. This might be a good scenario. I actually, in my mock drafts, my full league 32 all-team mock draft, especially the one that's going to be this week, I feel like I have the Denver Broncos trying to get a wide receiver in round one. Like, I mean, it's Cortland Sutton, it's Mims, and then it's who? They are a piece or two away, especially from the wide receiving position. And so I actually have been mocking, mock drafts of the Denver Broncos getting a wide receiver. Deebo to Denver sounds like it's a place he wants to be. It takes him out of the NFC. I don't see the 49ers trading him in the NFC. That's why the Commanders are low. That's why the Panthers may be low, right? I just don't see that, right? Why trade him to a team you got to compete against to get to the Super Bowl? If you play him in the Super Bowl, that's different, but why play against him to get to the Super Bowl? It's just not a good trade tactic, in my opinion. But where will Deebo play in 2025? That's to be continued. This is going to be a crazy long offseason. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button. If this is your first time watching, click on subscribe. Support the channel by joining the Breezy Bunch crew by just clicking on that little join button right there. And last and certainly not least, go ahead and check out the merch over at residency.com. I'm your boy, WayneBreezie, and I'll see you next time, faithful to the Bay.